All right, Reggie, the front row report here. I got Nick from Girl on Fire. How's it going?
That's good, man. How you doing?
Awesome. I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. I appreciate you taking the time to talk to me today, even though it's your one of your days off.
Awesome, yeah.
So, man, we got a new album coming out. I think it was July 9th, Not Broken. Man, I had a chance to check this album out. Dude, it is insane. It's awesome. I loved it.
Awesome. I'm glad you got it here.
Yeah. So this is the debut full length, right?
Yes, it is.
Awesome. So what I'm curious about is when you're going into the studio to record your debut full length on a major label like Century Media, what is on your minds?
Well, definitely everyone's just excited and the whole vibe. Everyone's just super pumped to be doing this. And it's a long process, you know, like you find out that you're going to be recording and you have all the songs you've been writing for a long time. So it's not like all of a sudden, oh my gosh, now we're going in the studio. It's like been building up to it for so long. So definitely excitement between everyone. But also being anxious. It's like our first time really in a studio like that. It was NRG Studios in Los Angeles. And that was just like a big jump for us to go from small studios in Seattle to something so major.
Yeah, definitely. So overall, what was the recording process like and the writing process for this album?
The writing was done between much of the band, and we also were in LA doing some co-writing with some other band members and friends and producers that we had met over the past year and couple years actually. And then the recording process was very tedious. We just it was drums first, and that took like a week straight of just drumming every day, all day, 8 hours a day. By the end of it, our drummer was just like, I can't do this anymore. I'm glad it's done. I have to take like a month off of doing anything.
Wow.
And yeah, it was very physical and a lot of work, but like a really great learning experience for all of us and really thrilling for everyone.
Yeah, the amount of work you guys put in this album really shows on the final product. I think that when fans hear the full album, they're gonna freak. They're gonna just love it. I mean, it definitely shows.
Yeah, we're crazy pumped about it for sure.
Yeah. So how did signing with Century Media? How did that come about?
Well, we were working with our buddy Will from Aiden in Seattle, and he had kind of a connection, and he really got us in touch with them. We came down and did a showcase for the label, and it's been a bit of a process. It's been a couple of years. We released an EP briefly called Revenge about a year and a half ago, and we're trying to figure out when to do and record a full-length album, and it finally worked out last fall, and we recorded it, and it's ready to go, and we're going to be more excited about it.
Nice. So the lead single has been released now. Is that right?
Yes, the Takedown.
Right. Yeah. So when you're on the verge of releasing the debut full length, and you've got an EP out, but you're on the verge of releasing the debut full length, how important and vital is that first single? And how important is it to choose when you're actually going to release that first single?
I mean, I think obviously the first single is going to be really important because it's like the first introduction to what the new record's going to be like. But also at the same time, we're still a small band. Not a lot of people know who we are. We've toured around the country a handful of times, but we haven't been international really other than briefly in Canada. And so it's going to take some building, and it's going to take some time, and it's going to take lots of people wanting to do interviews and lots of radio play and fans stepping up and showing it to their friends. So. Right.
And I would assume some of the festivals you guys are playing would help as well. You guys played Welcome to Rockville last month, I think in April.
Yep.
What was that experience like? Because I've covered a couple of big festivals, but playing them is a completely different world. Man, how crazy was that festival and that experience?
It was definitely up there, like those band moments where you're doing it and you just, oh man, like this is happening. happening right now. And it was a really good experience. It was like we got off the stage and our management and our label and our publicity radio people were all there. They all came back and were like high-fiving us, and 10 minutes later we had to go off and do 3 interviews back to back. So it was a really busy day, and it was hot and funny, and watching all these other rock bands and some of the bands that we like growing up listening to. It was just like a whirlwind experience, you know.
Definitely. And speaking of big bands, man, you guys are coming out of Seattle, and I don't think there's any city that's as rich with rock, especially rock history, as Seattle. You know, just the bands that have come out of there are just insane. What's it like coming as a rock band coming up in Seattle with that sort of with that rich of a musical heritage in the rock industry and rock scene, and with those influences taking it national?
Well, I mean, when you're from an area, you kind of take it for granted, you know. I mean, knowing that Jimi Hendrix and Nirvana, and then more recent bands like Death Cab, and like all those bands that have just been so successful from that area, it's awesome. And lots of the bands from Seattle kind of stand for being like organic and being real bands and not being some LA created product, which is something we want to avoid, but also something that we're a part of just because we recorded in LA. We've been down there, we're working in LA a lot. So I mean, we do feel like we have big shoes to fill, but at the same time, it's not really upfront and like in your face because we're from there. It is what it is.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. So after the album's released in July, what are we looking at for touring and all that stuff? Like, what does the post album release time period look like for you guys?
Well, I would think we're going to be really busy. Right now, all we have confirmed is going to be a 3-week Buck Cherry tour starting in June, along kind of the West Coast up to Canada and then through parts of the Midwest. And that ends, I believe, on July 10th.
Okay.
And I know that we're looking into our management and booking agent are looking into lots of other tours, but nothing's confirmed or I can't really announce anything.
Right. Okay. So looking back at, recording Not Broken or looking forward to the release, what is the most exciting part and your favorite part about the album itself? Well,
as far as recording, like, just starting it is always really exciting because you're actually doing it. You have the songs, you know what they're going to be, and it's just like you're rolling with it then instead of there's not as much uncertainty and kind of waiting. And I mean, personally, getting back to the mixes is like the most exciting thing. Like, you're actually hearing the song in its almost complete form. Or getting back like the artwork and getting like the final products that are about to go out, because you get to see it before everyone else, and it's something that you've spent like your life working towards. So that's really exciting for me. It's like very self-fulfilling.
Nice. Awesome, man. Now, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me. It's been great. It's been fun. I'm looking forward to the release of the album when everybody gets to hear this thing. It's going to be great.
Cool.
It's going to be great.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you, man. I'll talk to you later. Have a good day.
Yeah, you too.